Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Finance Buzz. Today, we're going to talk about goal setting and how to set goals and how to meet goals and just the characteristics of goals. Just trying to understand how to set a smart goal, how to set the right goals, how to do these things, because goals are a very important aspect of our lives. Everyone has a goal. Even the person who says that they don't, they all have goals and they all have aspirations to do things with their lives, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether they feel that their decisions and choices can help them get to the goals or whatever. But today that's what we're going to dive into. So stick around and enjoy. So this is an introduction. So this is just a PowerPoint that I have took from a couple of different people, made a conglomeration and made it my own. And some of the things in here are things that I feel that are important as well too. So we talked about goals. We talked about doing the right things that could ultimately make us a better person, right? Make our mindsets better, help us grow as people. Not only because, we are wanting to get through school, but also you have aspirations to do things later in your life. Your ideal self, we talked about that. And your ideal self is who you want to be. You're a better person, or the betterment of yourself. Who you see yourself as, okay? So, and these goals are the ultimate way that we test our commitment or test our ideal self, to see if we can reach those goals. Or to become our ideal self, you have to have goals. So, what is a goal? So the introduction is, what is a goal? So a goal is a desired result that a person plans and commits to achieve. So you see that word commits. We talked about this the other day. Commitment is the number one thing that is entailed with goals. It's the number one thing that you have to do to reach your ideal self. And to achieve, we talked about achievement. Achievement can also be standards. We can also have to achieve our standards or some sense like that. So we talked about accountability is our responsibility to hold ourselves to a higher standard. So if we hold ourselves to a higher standard, we can achieve our goals. Okay? So goal setting. So goal setting involves the development of an action plan designed to motivate and guide a person or group toward a goal. So this is the plan. So you want to set goals. You can't achieve a goal if you don't set a goal. If you don't have goals, you can't achieve it. If you don't know why or what you're wanting to do, you're never going to achieve it. You're never going to accomplish it. You're never going to reach that. So you have to set goals for yourself. You have to set goals for your future. And these are things that, are very important in your life. We can't go through life without having a goal. Everybody has a goal. Everybody in their life has goals that they want to meet. If you didn't, then your brain is you're not here. You're not here mentally anywhere. Okay? Even the person with the worst mental state has a goal to be better, to never want to feel this way. You understand? So that's why we have to set goals. So it's just a little meme or whatever about, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. So we have a vision. You have to have a vision for yourself. You have to see yourself and picture yourself doing great things or doing the things that you want to accomplish. Okay? And then once you have that vision, you set the goals to reach that vision. All right? Because it is the first step. Setting a goal is the first step of your vision, of turning your vision into reality. All right? So why should we set goals? So, it gives you something to look for. It gives you a long-term vision, you know, and in short-term motivation. So what that means is short-term motivation is the tiny steps and the tiny details it takes for you to get to that overall goal. So if your overall goal is to, you know, have a bigger farm, own a farm when you're 20 years old, 21 years old or whatever, you have to have smaller steps to get there. So, and you have to be motivated. Those steps should be motivation for you to accomplish that overall goal. So when you step up onto each step, it's exciting. You know, when you mark off the days of the calendar, like counting down to something that you've waited for your entire life or waited for a long time, it feels exciting to see those days just chipped away. And that's the same thing with goals. You know, you can be excited. You can be excited to meet your goals and to reach your goals, and knowing that you've overcome obstacles and knowing that you've taken different steps to get to where you're at. And you cross each of those steps off as you move up the stairway to your ultimate goal. And then you look back at where you were at before, and then you look back at where you're at now. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to write it out and write out your steps and cross off each of those steps as you accomplish them to get to your ultimate goal. You understand? Okay? So it focuses your acquisition or your talent or your knowledge or that's what that word means, of knowledge, and helps you to organize your time and your resource so that you can make the very most of your life. So yeah, it focuses you on it. When you set goals, it is clear as day is what you want. You are manifesting that. You are speaking that. You are writing that down. You are taking it from your mind and you are putting it in physical written letters that you can see. So you can visualize that. You know what I mean? And it helps you to organize each of the steps. Okay? Organize it. Organization is key. It is critical in goal setting. Next one, it allows to measure your progress because you always have a fixed endpoint or benchmark to compare with. So you're measuring your progress as you go. Just like we're in here right now. We have the goal of reaching 10 assignments a day, right? So when you cross off one assignment, 2 assignments, 3 assignments, 4 assignments, 5 assignments, 6 assignments, 7, you know what I mean? We're measuring your progress towards the end. So you have 500 assignments to do. We can measure your progress as you continuously go, as you continuously improve, as you continuously move through the course. Okay? And then next, goals help you achieve your highest potential. I mean, that is what it is. We set goals because we want to achieve something in our life. You know? So ultimately, that is whatever you want to achieve. Whatever it might be that you want to achieve, you know, is your highest potential. Okay? And sometimes you can exceed the goals. And we'll talk about that. So, a goal is, without a plan, is just a wish. I tell my players, stop wishing and start doing. But you can't do if you don't have a goal. If you don't know your goals, you cannot do. There is no wishing. There's only working. You know, so don't wish that you're great. Go out and make a plan. Go out and set a goal and get to work. Okay? That's the number one thing. Types of goals. So, we have short-term goals and we have long-term goals. Who can tell me what a short-term goal is without reading the definition? Yeah, it could be something in the next 2 months if, you know, your goal is something longer, you know, that's going to take you longer to reach. Yeah. So it could be something that's short. So short-term goal is, without reading this definition, short-term goal are goals that are going to, or steps that are going to get you to your ultimate goal. Okay? So it's something you want to do in the near future. The near future can mean today, this can mean this week, this can mean this month, or even this year. You know, a short-term goal is something that you want to accomplish right now. You want to accomplish it right now or sooner than later because it's going to get you to that long-term goal. You understand? Okay? So a long-term goal. A long-term goal is a goal that is a goal which takes a long time to achieve. Okay. Now some goals can just be, you can just have some short-term goals that don't lead to anything, that won't lead to a long-term goal. But in order to have a long-term goal, you have to have short-term goals that lead up to the long-term goals. Does that make sense? Okay, you can't have a long-term goal without short-term goals. You can have a short-term goal and not have a long-term goal. Okay? But long-term goals always include short-term goals. They are steps to where you want to get to. All right, so a SMART goal. So this is good because, when I was coming up, we didn't really talk about SMART goals or anything like that, but this is kind of cool, and I wanted to put this in here because, your goals have to have each of these characteristics, okay? They have to be specific. They can't be vague. So if you want to own a farm or something like that, you can't say, well, I want to do this, I want to have that, what do you want specifically out of your farm? And you need to write that down. You need to write that down. What do you want specifically for your shop? And you need to write that down. That's something that's got to be specific. Because if it's not specific and it's vague, there's so many different avenues that you could go and take your mindset off of the overall goal. You understand? So be specific. Okay? The next one is measurable. So measurable means that you can keep track of it. All right, you can keep track of your progress. You can keep track of, where you started and where you're at currently. So measurable, you can measure it in quantitative, which means numbers, or qualitatively, which means, speaking it or words. You understand what I'm saying? Or seeing like the characteristics of what you've accomplished so far. All right? Achievable. It has to be something that is achievable. It can't be something that is not obtainable for you. Okay? Connor? So, you talking about you wanting to get done with all of your school and work and stuff and things like that. That's very achievable. But let's say you come in here with 1,000 assignments that you have to do, and you only have 2 months to do it. And you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to get all 1,000 assignments done in 2 months. That's probably not achievable. You probably won't do that, bud. You may have to say, let's extend this for 5 or 6 months. You understand? So make sure that your goals are something that you know that you can achieve. And once you achieve it, you set new goals to further yourself. You understand? They have to be obtainable. For example, for myself, I had a goal of becoming a head coach one day. Well, you know what that consisted of? Well, I'll tell you, I had short-term goals. I had to make sure that I got my education. I had to make sure that I did the right things by the law. I had to make sure that I got a good coaching job. I had to make sure that I did everything right at the coaching job, at my assistant coaching job. I built my resume, and now I'm a head coach. You understand? So that's how that works. And I could measure each and every one of those things. I can measure it qualitatively, and I can measure it quantitatively. Qualitatively is I look back and I look at my resume and I look at all the things that I've done in my career that have helped me get to my ultimate goal of being a head coach. Okay? And achievable, did I achieve it? Yes, I achieved it. It was very achievable for me. Okay? And then the next thing, it was realistic. It was realistic. You got to be real with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. A lot of people lie to themselves about a lot of things, and it keeps them from being great. You understand? They lie about themselves every day, and it keeps them from being great. So being real with yourself and being real with your goals is important. Because if you're realistic in your goal setting, that means that it's probably going to be achievable for you to do. Okay? All right? I got to be realistic. Am I going to become the next head coach of Alabama? Roll Tide? No, that's not realistic for me right now at this point in time in my life. I can't say next year I'm going to go coach at Alabama. I can't, that's not a realistic goal for me. I have to understand where I'm at in my career and where I'm at in my life to make these things happen. And then it has to be timely. Okay? So it can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, but just like I said about the Connor example, 1,000 assignments in 2 months, that's not timely. It's not doable. So it's not achievable, it's not realistic, and it's not timely. Okay? So if you don't have each of these things in your goals, then it's going to be hard to reach. Okay? So how do we set goals? Okay? So we'll talk about this whenever we get back from the gym. Okay? So we'll start another video on this, and then we'll be done for the day. Okay? All right? Good deal.